This is not a good video idea. This also not really. Maybe. Not really. For the love of God, please, I need a good video idea.
Did someone called me?
Oh my God! It's that really you, God?
Yes, my child. It's me. Why did you call me?
Yes, God, please, do you have any idea what I could do next for my next YouTube channel big video, like retrospective, any game idea or something like that?
Yes, my child. I have the perfect game for you.
Wait a second. No. No, 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 no. Not Final Fantasy XIII, please. For the love of God, no.
It's a good game, my child. Give it a try.
Are you sure?
Yes, my child. Trust me. I am God. Why would I lie?
Also, you as a god could at least give me a new sealed copy and not this used one.
Child, be more grateful. I could end your life right here, right now, if I want.
Okay, calm down, God. I still want to live. I think.
Okay, child, I need to go now. Apparently some angels have brought some Mountain Dew and pizza. So, see ya. Have fun with the game.
Well, apparently God left me for some pizza and Mountain Dew.
And hot chicks.
Wait, you are still here? Also, what is about those chicks you talking about? You mean angels, like hot angels? You know what? Doesn't really matter. Let's go to the game and let's finish this retrospective review. I wanted to talk about Final Fantasy XIII for a really long time, but sadly most of my friends don't play JRPGs, and if they do, they would never touch this game. But thanks to God himself, I will touch it now. First of all, if you expect me to rant about this game, you are on the wrong video. However, I also don't think this is a good or amazing game. Far from it. If you want my honest opinion about this game from the get-go, it's a okayish, a-okay, acceptable, but heavily flawed game. The drastic change in gameplay really destroyed this game for me, but Final Fantasy XIII has also many great aspects, like music. The music is so fantastic. I think even the biggest Final Fantasy XIII haters must admit the OSTs in 13 are goated. True masterpieces. You can hear the emotions from the music, even without the lyrics, even without anything. The sound itself, it tells a story. It tells an emotional, sad story. Also, the story and the characters in Final Fantasy XIII are really well written, really amazingly well written. The story can be confusing here and there, really confusing, but at the end of the game you really should have a general grasp, a general idea what is going on. But let's start from the very beginning. Final Fantasy XIII, it's a JRPG developed by Square Enix. It was first released in Japan December 17, 2009 and later in March 9, 2010 worldwide for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. We also got much later in 2014 a PC version of Final Fantasy XIII. Motomu Toriyama was the main director of Final Fantasy XIII. He also worked on Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy X and Bahamut Lagoon, but not as a main director. With this information dump out of the way, let's take a look at the complete in-box experience of Final Fantasy XIII. Here in my hands I hold the complete in-box experience of Final Fantasy XIII. Let's take a look. First, let's take a look at the front cover of Final Fantasy XIII. At the front we see Lightning, the main character from Final Fantasy XIII. And now when we turn the game around we see it's a German copy, guys. Don't worry guys, it's a PAL European copy, so it has multiple languages. But I will not play it here on PlayStation 3 but on PC, like always, because recording it's much easier. The PC copy it's a little bit... it's not bad, but it could be better. But, it has many problems and many mistakes and many Many missed opportunities. This is a German copy of the game, but I know German, so I will translate couple of words, only the big ones. Hast du den Mut, dich deinem Schicksal zu stellen? Do you have the courage to face your own destiny? Yes, and yes, I have the courage to bully some children around by riding a Norse mythology god while being tsundere of our main character protagonist. Let's go! Let's be honest here, Hope really doesn't have it easy with lightning around. Opening the game reveals the beautiful manual and the disc. The front of the manual has lightning riding Odin. Yes, Odin, the Odin. You see, Final Fantasy XIII has those sun creatures. We will get there when we get there. The manual is so beautiful and so colorful. I love all the colors, I love the page quality, everything is so good. I love the small details, the descriptions, the artwork, the character designs, everything is so beautiful. This is exactly what I want from a manual. This is a really fine, really good quality manual. I love how they show merchandise at the end of the manual. I know it's more advertisement than anything, but I really appreciate it. I think it's a cool idea, and I like that it's full color. This is the complete inbox experience of Final Fantasy XIII. Is it perfect? No, but it's really solid. I would say above average. So yeah, with this out of the way, let's jump into the game. Let's go. First thing we see when we open the game, it's this really cool, amazing CGI cutscene. It's really amazing, really cool. Just the visuals and everything, it's so amazing. It prepares us for a really amazing journey. Once the intro is over, or we skip it by pressing any random button on our controller, we are welcome, but it's really cool, amazing OST. The OST of Final Fantasy XIII, I already said it, but I will say it once again, it's a masterpiece. If you don't believe me, just listen. I could listen to this music all day, all night, but we should jump into the game together. Let's go. The game throws us immediately into the action. The story structure can be really weird and confusing. I recommend really taking notes and having good, sharp attention. The story can be really good, but also really confusing, so I recommend putting the puzzle pieces together. So start putting the puzzle pieces together as soon as you can. The game will throw a lot of really confusing words at you. Words like lassie, falsi, purge, cocoon, pulse, and those words can mean like 20 essays, 20 word essay, 20 like page essay. It's really confusing, but it's also really amazing. But you really need to pay really good attention and understand every single word. Like what means purge, what means lassie, falsi, pulse falsi, the sanctum, what it's the sanctum, and yeah. I will not explain those words in this video, because then we would sit here for like 2 hours, and I really don't want to make this video like 2 hours long. If you finish the game and you still have questions, Google is your best friend. So use it.
Or just use the Bible.
Really, God? So you was listening all the time?
Yes, my child. I am God. I see and hear everything.
Wait a second. Did you say everything?
Yes, I can also read your mind. You were thinking about the dirty activities before sleep. I can see them all in front of me.
For the love of God, why?
Yes, my child. I know you love me. Everyone loves God.
That's not what I meant. But you know what? Forget it. Let's move on. Now let's talk about the characters. All characters are well written, well designed, and unique in their own right. The game is structured so that you switch between characters in gameplay. You don't really have a say in which character you control and will not control in your party. The game makes all those decisions for you, like a true parent, like a true great parent. Great. This game was designed for teenagers and adults who will soon leave their parents' house or already left their parents' house. So after all of this, the game becomes your new parent. It tells you what you can and cannot do, like your mother. Amazing, I love it. Great. Okay, back to the topic. This solution is not the best solution and I wished it was different, but gameplay and structure wise how the game was structured, it was the only solution. At chapter 9, I think it's chapter 9 but I'm not sure, you can use all of your characters. All characters are in your party and assembled in one place. What is pretty much near the end of the game. Let's talk now about the world design. The world design in Final Fantasy XIII, it's linear and you can see it as a negative or a positive. I think the problem with Final Fantasy XIII is that the linear design, it's really badly made, really awfully made. It's really not that great. The items are really not that well hidden and can be easily found. I can go left and I can go right. On the left side I see the story cutscene symbol and on the right side I see the end of the road and a floating item object right in front of me. I wonder where the item is hidden. At this point why even hiding them? Like seriously, why even hiding them at this point? Just put them at the front of the road, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Outside of items there is no other reason to explore the linear world of Final Fantasy XIII. Exploration, it's something most JRPGs and RPGs stand for, and Final Fantasy XIII pretty much throws it away. It's such a shame going from the huge open world exploring world of Final Fantasy XII with the huge lively cities, with the big so many people, with the huge exploring world, with many those secrets in Final Fantasy XII to the really simple, really boring linear world of Final Fantasy XIII. Now because they choose this approach, the graphics of Final Fantasy XIII could be pushed to the max. Final Fantasy XIII it's one of the best looking Final Fantasy games, even today. And by far, Final Fantasy XIII it's one of the best looking PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 games. This game it's gorgeous, the beautiful character designs, the world, the particle effects, the everything is so great. If you would release this game in 2022, people will not question anything. That's how good this game looks, guys. Obviously the footage you see here it's the PC version of the game, but even without it, the game is just breathtaking.
Is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
My biggest problem with Final Fantasy XIII is the combat system itself. It's a mix of turn-based and action-based. The game it's way too fast and way too snappy and feels like a button mashing game. However, it's not as bad as other button mashing games like Dynasty Warriors. Square tried to fix this problem by adding additional gameplay options to customize your auto-battle strategy for your AI-controlled party members. This gameplay mechanic system it's called Paradigms. Paradigms are pretty much your usual auto combat system for your AI party members. Something like use physical, use magic, use defense, use buff, use heal, but with a twist. They combined this system, the Paradigm system, with the skill tree system in Final Fantasy XIII. The skill tree system in Final Fantasy XIII it's called Crystarium. Each character has a skill tree system aka Crystariums, what will be used by switching in between paradigms. The Crystarium system also improves stats like HP and magic. That's because Final Fantasy XIII doesn't have a leveling system, and to replace the loss of the level progression, you can make your character stronger by improving your skill tree aka Crystarium. Why use an already well established leveling system when we can use our stupid bad unique system to improve our main characters? Great game, I love it, thanks, I love to suffer. We cannot forget the equipment and the accessory system. Later on the game gives us the options to upgrade our own equipment and accessories, aka the equipment system, aka the accessory system and aka the upgrade system. You obviously still have items like Phoenix Down feathers, potions, buff items and other items. But strategic wise it's really hard to use those items, considering that the game is really fast, really snappy. The game doesn't give you time to think about your next move, it just slam, while it's still trying to be turn-based, quote-unquote turn-based. The game also has summons called Eidolons. What the f comes up with those names, like really? Eidolons are creatures we can summon once we became Lassie, and they are pretty strong. You use technical points to summon Eidolons, so they cannot be summoned each and every battle. I recommend using them only in boss battles, like a trump card. Before I forget, there is also a weapon, accessory, item, material, shop. Obviously there is a shop, every JRPG has a shop. Conveniently enough, the shop is tied with the saving system. You have those drones flying around for some weird reason, even places you would never suspect them to be. And those drones, or whatever they are there to give you an option to save the game, buy items and accessories, and upgrade your weapon and accessories. I think the problem with Final Fantasy XIII is that it really doesn't know what it wants to be. You cannot have your cake and eat it. Square tried to make a JRPG action game, but also please the turn-based audience. They didn't went full action, what created one of the worst Final Fantasy combat systems ever. Obviously we never saw the return of this combat system, because no one really liked it. Square, choose. Do you want us hardcore turn-based Final Fantasy old school players, or do you want to appeal to a totally new crowd, the so-called casuals? Well, Square has chosen, and lost me as a die-hard Final Fantasy fan in the process. I think the problem with Square's Final Fantasy action-based games is that they mostly feel like skins, like action games with Final Fantasy skin over it. Final Fantasy is sadly not Final Fantasy anymore. So yeah guys, I think Final Fantasy XIII is a good but heavily flawed game. The game it's not as bad as people try to present it. I think give it a score of 0 out of 10 on Metacritic, it's really harsh and unwarranted. The music, characters, sword, story, everything is so great, so amazing, but sadly the gameplay drags it to the mud. I think if they went full turn-based or full action, doesn't matter, action or turn-based, but full, only turn-based or only action, Final Fantasy XIII could have been one of my favorite games ever. But sadly, the most important part of the game, the gameplay, it's flawed.
Don't be so nitpicky.
That's not being nitpicky, those are serious design flaws.
I also created many design flaws. Look at humanity. A huge design flaw. Twitter is the best example of how I failed in my creation.
I see, so not even God is perfect.
Yes, my child, we all make mistakes. It's important to learn from our mistakes and improve.
You are right, you are truly a wise and kind God, the one and only. We all make mistakes, we all should accept and learn from our mistakes.
Here, my child.
What? Final Fantasy XIII/2. But why?
Didn't you agree with me that we should take criticism and learn from it, from our mistakes? Now go, my child, play Final Fantasy XIII/2 and see how Square Enix learned from their mistakes.
No? Why? I mean, I did agree with you, but I didn't expect this outcome.
I need to go, my child. My tacos are done, and I'm hungry. Have fun with Final Fantasy XIII/2. Bye.
Well. I should finish this video now. Well guys, we at least learned something today. We learned that Final Fantasy XIII is bad, but not awful. And we also learned that God doesn't really have a good taste in video games. But what do you think about Final Fantasy XIII? Did you enjoy it? Let me know down below. And with those words out of the way, I wish you all a wonderful day. Sayonara my good old friends. Ciao. Also I think it's really hot.